Hello, friends. This is Jerry Robinson from TrueRichesRadio.com. It's an honor to be presenting you with another video today. And today I'm going to be answering a viewer question, someone who has watched many of our YouTube videos and has been to TrueRichesRadio.com and has heard some of our podcasts. And the question is from Peter M. in St. Paul, Minnesota. Peter writes, "Hi, Jerry. I really appreciate your teachings on the topic of Christian nonviolence. And I am in total agreement that Christians should not participate and/or kill in unjust wars over natural resources. But don't all Christians have a basic duty to protect our religious liberties, even if it requires going to war and killing?" Peter, thank you for the very good question. It is thought-provocative, and let's go ahead and dive right into it with my answer. So, first of all, when we bring up the topic of unjust wars, or just wars for that matter, that is a topic that is very, very debatable because, according to many, most of the wars that we have fought over the last several decades and even centuries have been far from being just wars according to the strict definition. And I appreciate that you see that many of the wars are actually over things like natural resources and economics, which certainly would not fit into the purview of what we would call a just war. However, you have pointed out that we may have a basic duty to protect our religious liberties through an act of war. So let me address that. So the concept of religious liberty is quite interesting when we consider it not from an American point of view or a Western point of view, but more from a biblical basis. In the Old Testament, we learn that the Creator is a jealous God who will not share his rightful worship with any other so-called God. So too, the very first of the Ten Commandments states, "Thou shalt have no other gods before me." In his covenant with Israel, God demands unwavering devotion from his people. Like a jealous husband over his beautiful wife, God warns his people to be loyal, adding in Deuteronomy chapter 6, "Do not follow other gods, the gods of the peoples around you. For Yahweh your God, who is among you, is a jealous God, and his anger will burn against you, and he will destroy you from the face of the land." Now, the exclusivity of the Christian's worship today is little changed according to Christ, who explains that the greatest commandment is to love the Lord your God with all of your heart, all of your soul, and all of your mind, and all of your strength. In contrast, religious liberty is a concept that permits the worship of any God at any time, for any reason, by anyone. Not only does religious liberty allow men to worship any and all gods of their choosing, they may also opt to reverence no God whatsoever. And while men certainly enjoy having a choice to worship any God, should we automatically believe or assume that this is what the Creator also prefers? Clearly not, based upon the words of God as recorded in both the Old and the New Testaments. In my own research, I have personally found that most of the laws that men like and support are contrary to the laws that God prescribes for men in his word. Therein lies the problem. God does not support religious liberty because he does not offer a religion. Religions are man-made. God is a king, and he offers a kingdom. Freedom to choose a man-made religion is not something that Christ came and died to deliver to man. Besides this, should Christians shed blood even of other Christians, as in the case of the American Revolution or the Civil War, in order to allow Muslims, for example, to freely worship Allah, or for the atheist to worship himself? Should Christians kill other Christians so that Hindus may worship their pantheon of gods? There's an old saying that says, "I may not share your beliefs, but I'll die to protect your right to believe them." This may be a fine motto for Americans, but it's not taken from the Bible, and it's certainly not for Christians. Christians don't fight and kill for the right to worship their own God, let alone the false gods of others. We would rather be martyred than to slay other human beings for the sake of protecting false gods and their worship. So too, we should also wonder how realistic religious liberty really is in the long run, considering man's propensity towards evil and his history of using man-made religions to oppress others. Spans of true religious liberty are few and far between throughout history. As such, if we kill others for religious liberty today, there is no guarantee that our children won't have to kill for it again in the next generation. So that brings us to the question, Peter, is this a cycle that Christians want to promote? I believe the answer would be no. And I hope this answers the question. If you have a question, by the way, that you would like me to address on this channel, feel free to contact us at truerichesradio.com. Submit your question to us. And if we feel it's relevant for our audience, we'll address it right here on one of these videos. Again, thank you for listening, and check us out online at truerichesradio.com to learn more.